Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game Not Game podcast. My name is Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host Zen from his channel Zen and Cyrene. Say hello.
Hello, I heard Codcast for a moment there, and I was wondering from how that happened. Hi.
Oh man, it's like a COD piece, but for a podcast. But with us as well is twitch.tv/Duncebass.
Hello.
Who is like 55-ish hours into a 69-hour live stream right now.
Yeah, something like that.
How you doing, Dunce? How you holding up?
I'm doing pretty good. I took a nap not long ago, so I should be good for the rest of the stream.
Yeah, we've been taking it in shifts. Doxy's been helping him stream while he's not, he's incapacitated. But the stream has been going for a really long ass time, and I've been a part of it a lot. So, video games. How are you guys? How's video games with you guys?
I haven't had any time for video games this week, basically, because work has been kicking my ass all over the place. How about you, Dunce?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been just pretty much like hemorrhaging, trying to figure which game I want to play for the stream specifically. Like, okay, what's next? Come on. That's why I go to the paint stuff. I know, right? I got Gungeon recently. I've been enjoying that quite a bit.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, Gungeon's good. We did that was like one of our last Green versus Ends, wasn't it?
Oh,
or no, maybe it was one of the first Game Not Games.
Actually. It was one of the first games. I remember because I've been so lazy about thumbnails lately, but I did make a thumbnail that was related to Gungeon. Oh, it was that. It was the bird boss bursting off a pizza. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was sick as hell. All right. Speaking of food, Zen, you have some pumpkin spice news for us, don't you?
Yeah. Yep. Well, you can probably tell from my tone of voice. It's the fall, folks. It's September, and here in America, the leaves haven't started to fall yet, but pumpkin spice everything is everywhere right now. And it really just kind of hit me in the face a couple of days ago when I walked into a grocery store, and there were pumpkin spice displays for everything, but no actual pumpkins for sale. That's the point that we've gotten to right now.
Yeah, actually. Classic. We're still using the canned pumpkin from last year to create the pumpkin spice for this year.
Yo, don't you know we got rid of pumpkins like 10 years ago? We're in the future.
Yeah, we don't need pumpkin. We have artificial pumpkins.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's going to happen at some point. Definitely, we're just It's just going to be pumpkin spice because that's what the market demands. Not just plain old boring pumpkins with no sugar or added any extra excitement.
Pumpkin seeds are pretty good though. Like I like pumpkin seeds.
I like them too.
I am okay with them. Cyrene's been she hasn't been forcing me to eat them, but because of Cyrene, my pumpkin seed consumption has gone up like 5,000% since last year.
Oh man, why are they a new health kick or something? I don't know about this.
Well, no, it's because I don't have very good like what's the word I'm looking for, like health. I work in medicine, I should know this, but what I'm saying is that my cholesterol is really high, or not really, it's quite high. I shouldn't be eating sugar, so I've been eating lots of nuts, but nuts are expensive, especially like cashew nuts and stuff, so just throw the pumpkin seeds in there just to fill it in.
Oh yeah, like a filler nut. That's
yeah, exactly. Yep. So but if you're living in America right now, you can go to Starbucks and get pumpkin spice lattes, which I've never actually tasted. So maybe I'm just talking out my ass here, but it's just ubiquitous, the pumpkin spice everything.
Oh, yeah.
I have a list here from eater.com of the various things that have been pumpkin spiced, right? So they have 65 items here, which really goes to show, right? Pumpkin spice Pop-Tarts, that's of course quite a thing. Sparkling pumpkin spice beverage.
Ooh, that's
an unspecific beverage. Just like,
it sounds like pumpkin spice sparkling water to me.
Oh, that's
exactly what it is. Right.
I don't like sparkling water to begin with. I much prefer flat water. I don't feel like I'm quenching my thirst when I drink sparkling water, and then when you add flavorings to it, that's almost always worse.
I feel like it would just have an odd flavor to it, like.
Yeah, no, that would be horrible.
I've been drinking flavored sparkling water once a day. Because I don't know why. Wait, that's another thing, right? Sparkling water is becoming super popular here in the United States as well, right?
Is it becoming? I remember it was a huge thing like when I was a kid in the 90s.
Oh, it's even more so now because nowadays people don't want to drink. Well, soda consumption's on a decline because of the health effects of sugar, right?
Yeah.
So people figured out that they can drink sparkling water with some non-sweet fruit in it, and that will do as well. So, Northern Lions obsessed with LaCroix, which is the Midwestern brand of sparkling water that suddenly became popular with hipsters everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And every bottled water company that I know of suddenly has their own sparkling water with fruit product, and it's all over the place now. It's a big thing. But yeah, other pumpkin spice abominations include pumpkin spice for Loko.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! Oh man!
I feel like is that just like really mild for Loko? Like I feel like it would mild it down a little bit. Like for Loko right now is like it's strong. It tastes
you can
very
put
strong.
a lot of spice in a Four Loko.
That's true.
Honestly speaking, I barely have any conception as to what Four Loko is. It's strong. That's all I know, really.
Dude, it's an alcoholic energy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like super fucking sweet, has shitloads of caffeine, and has, it's like 6 to 8% alcohol, I think. So it's like reasonably alcoholic, but you can't taste the alcohol in it, and the caffeine stops you from realizing that you're drunk.
Yeah. When I say it's
like,
strong, I don't
It's dangerous shit, man.
Yeah, when I say it's strong, I don't mean it's like actually strong. I mean it's like the flavor hits you.
Yeah.
Like
no, it's so fucking you're right. The flavor is so strong because they put enough sugar to completely mask the alcohol.
Exactly.
Ooh, that shit is crazy.
I hate it. I've
Yeah.
tasted it and I don't like it.
Yeah,
That
same.
sounds awful. It honestly
real bad.
does. Oh god.
Yeah. Oh man, pumpkin spice for Loko. Holy shit. That is the new date rape drug, man. Give a basic white girl a pumpkin spice for Loko.
Oh god.
Oh no. Sorry, please continue.
Oh, I don't think it gets any better. There's Nature's Promise pumpkin spice chicken sausage.
What? Chicken sausage?
Yes.
Ew.
Oh, that's
Ew.
Right. So, I mean, the point's been made, right?
Oh,
Just everyone's trying to get into the pumpkin spice phenomenon, and it shows
Totally.
no sign of stopping. It's a pumpkin spice runaway train at this point.
Yeah. There's
And-
nobody in the fucking engineer's car except for pumpkins and spice.
Yeah, when are we gonna get? When is the pumpkin spice gonna hit the video game industry? We're gonna get Pumpkin Spice Simulator.
Dude, I want a pumpkin spice roguelike.
Pumpkin spice roguelike. Like those are very like the original roguelikes, right? In which you drink a potion, you don't know what it is until you drink it, and then it's pumpkin spice for Loko.
Yeah. Where's Pumpkin Spice Simulator 2017?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, let's get on that. Put it on itch.io.
So actually, speaking of, this is a surprise topic. Speaking of Starbucks stuff, my friend Scott brews his own beer, and I've been wanting to get into that. And so he came over to my house with some ingredients, and we put together a beer. And he found at the Starbucks, the local Starbucks, he used to work in the same building as them, so he knows the people there. They had some expired toasted graham additive for coffee drinks.
Oh god.
It was like this like heavy cream and sugar thing, and we made a toasted graham stout out of that I'm really excited to see how that turns out. We put a bunch of toasted malt and hops in a pot, and then we added like a gallon of fucking toasted graham what do you call it, like syrup, I guess. And so it's gonna be like a milk stout with artificial graham flavor, and it's like a shitload of sugar, which obviously is just gonna convert into alcohol.
Right.
So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to try that beer. I'll report back after we've tried it. That's gonna be in a couple months probably.
I can't wait to see the tweets.
Yeah.
I feel like the toasted graham stuff. When was the last time Starbucks did something like that? It's probably
that's
a
why
year
they had
or more.
That's why they had 5 gallons of it expired to give to him.
Right.
That's where it
Good.
came from. Yeah, that was all unused for years before it expired, because I'm sure like that shit must last forever, but it expired in like January this year. But we figure, you boil it and then you let yeast eat it. It's probably not going to matter that it's past the best by date.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. That was my phone. I'm just going to silence it because I should have done that before the podcast.
Oh, no problem.
All right. So, what I was saying was that I was going to say also that speaking of coffee, this weekend, this Saturday, I'm going to become the ultimate coffee hipster, and
shit.
I'm going to go to what's called a coffee palate development class.
Oh man, that sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's a class in which I'll go there, I'll eat various samples of flavor notes that are supposed to be found in coffee, and I'll drink coffee with those flavor notes and learn to recognize them.
Dude, actually, Scott and I, the same guy who makes his own beer, we're thinking of going to a class similar to that, but for beer, where you learn. There's a word for it. There's a word for a wine like connoisseur who knows all the wine stuff. And there's another, and that's well known. I can't remember the word, but there's a similar word for somebody who does it with beer.
Yeah, I used to know this word.
That's what it is.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
but I'm already pretty good at like detecting certain things. Like I can tell kind of what kind of hops are in a beer, and I can tell
good.
like the style of beer it is. I can tell if it's been aged in oak. But yeah, I think it would be really fun to become qualified in something like that.
Yeah,
So
you can
I might
tell
take a
when
class like that for beer, and you can do it for coffee.
Yeah.
It'll fit our personalities. You're like a hard worker, go get 'em. I just get drunk all the time. So perfect.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm really excited about this class, to be honest with you, because
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
Yep, I've always wanted to sit around and drink Starbucks and say, there are some blueberry notes in this coffee. The malt is not strong enough. It just get tossed out.
The downside of this is you're never going to be able to fucking drink Starbucks again.
I know. Well, I can't really anymore. They had pretty good cold brew in 2014, though. Oh god, what am I saying?
Oh man, yeah, I don't mind Starbucks like generic coffee. It's fine. Like just black coffee from Starbucks is okay.
Yeah,
they make pretty good milkshakes. You just can't pretend they're coffee.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Very expensive though.
Yep. Yeah, that's my problem with the pumpkin spice latte and just about anything from Starbucks which is popular. It's just too sweet. I cannot drink it.
Yeah, it's like horribly sweet.
Yep. Yeah, so but pumpkin spice latte, the whole pumpkin spice craze was of course started a lot in part by Starbucks, and I don't know why it is that the pumpkin spice latte of all things took off, because Starbucks has been experimenting flavors every single year,
Yeah,
so,
it just really resonates with people. It's the classic fall flavor. People are like, oh, it's fall. I want to celebrate fall. What do I want? Fucking spices and pumpkin. And like Starbucks, I think, dialed into that.
Mm-hmm. Man, one of these days. I'm sure Starbucks is good coffee, by the way. It's just that I've never actually tasted it. So
yeah, I've never
Their
had
black
it
coffee,
either.
you mean?
yeah, the black coffee. I mean, I've tasted some of their coffee. I didn't think it was very good, but I could probably go to Starbucks and ask for a specific blend, and maybe it'll be better.
It's fine. It's certainly not the best I've ever had, and like, you can, for way cheaper, you can get a really nice coffee bean and grind it at home and make coffee.
Right.
It's going to be like 50 times better, but it's
Right.
fine. It's not. It's better than like getting a cup of coffee from McDonald's or something.
Right.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, Duncebass, where are you from?
I'm
Like,
originally
roughly?
from Florida, but I moved to North Carolina a long time ago.
Okay, and Green is from SoCal, and I'll tell you that people here in the Bay Area, California, are freaking out over Dunkin' Donuts showing up here.
Wait.
Oh, really?
Just showing up? Did we not already have it?
Not in the Bay Area, no.
Oh yeah. It's been in Southern California for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a Dunkin' Donuts everywhere in Florida, or at least there were when I was living there. I haven't seen many in North Carolina, like maybe one or two, but yeah, I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts all the time.
Yeah, I thought it was an East Coast thing, basically.
Huh. I think I could be wrong. I'm not I don't think I've ever been in a Dunkin' Donuts. No, that's not true. I've been in one, but it was in Virginia. But I've never been in one here, because I just I'm not the kind to go out and go to a donut shop. It just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, I think at this point, Dunkin' Donuts is really trying to push not just a donuts thing, but we have coffee, we have breakfast, etc., etc.
Totally.
The first time I've ever been in a Dunkin' Donuts actually was in Singapore, believe it or not. But Singapore just gets everything from America, so there's that, I guess.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep. Okay, so to wrap this up, by the way, I have never tasted pumpkin spice latte, as I said before. And if you like pumpkin spice latte, more power to you. I just think it's really absurd the amount of pumpkin spice everything that's shown up in supermarkets lately.
It's something we're going to look back on in history books and be like, what happened there?
Or maybe it's just going to take the nation by storm. Everything's going to be pumpkin spice from now on forever.
Yeah, you're right. 200 years from now, the White House will be a giant spiced pumpkin.
Yo, cars are going to be powered by pumpkin spice.
Sorry, that was my Final Fantasy X Titus laugh segue.
Wow.
It was really good.
Yep, that was quite the segue. Why are we laughing like our favorite Final Fantasy X character, by the way?
Well, Zen, I'm glad you asked. Earlier this week, streamer Monotone Tim, we've talked about him before. He's the guy who did the Ocarina of Time run, where he played an ocarina into a microphone to control his character. He recently dug into the Final Fantasy X remastered edition files for the PC and replaced every single line of Titus's dialogue with the laughter from the laughter scene. And he also replaced several MIDI files from the music with Haas from that scene. So he played a version of Final Fantasy X where every single time Titus talks, he just dismissively laughs at people. Early on in the game, some kids walk up to him and they're like, "Hey, can we get your autograph?" And his response is, "Ah, ha, 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 ah, ha, ha," just the most sarcastic bullshit laugh. And that's how the whole game went. It was so good.
But did he give the autograph?
No.
Wow.
In fact, they were like, "Okay, how about tomorrow?" And he laughed at them again. And he was like, okay. They were like, "Okay, see you then," and ran off. It was great.
Yep, it was. It was hilarious, of course, the whole thing. How far did you stay into the stream?
I was kind of half paying attention to it while I played Path of Exile for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, did you get to the part in which he also decided to replace Titus's textures with that of Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah, holy shit, I forgot about that completely. God, that was good.
Yep, so that was exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Titus actually ended up looking like a clown.
He looked like a soulless fucking monster. It was horrifying.
I really wish I could
zoom
see
in on
this.
his face.
You can.
Oh man, yeah, I'm sure you could. Hang on.
Yeah, it's on. He uploaded it to his YouTube channel, and the VOD is still on Twitch because it's not been 2 weeks yet. So
Right. I need to check that out after this then.
yeah, it is so. I don't know how he managed to keep it entertaining for that long. It was hilarious all the way through because he played it all the way to the actual laughing scene.
Yeah, I
so
fucking
it was
missed
really
that.
great.
I wasn't there for that.
Okay, actually, we should give some context to all of this for those of you who are not familiar at all with Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, at one point, the story is about Titus and Yuna going on a journey to save the world. Yuna being a summoner. At one point, Titus and Yuna decide to stand on the top of a cliff, and Titus laughs really awkwardly, like ha 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 ha, and and eventually they laugh genuinely, right? And the whole point, I suppose, is to show, how I don't know. Is there a way? Do you know Final Fantasy X better than me?
No.
Could you describe? No. Okay. Well, I'm probably messing it up then. But the idea is that they are, they're on this journey of great import and to save the world and stuff, and they just wanted to to laugh for a moment and not be absorbed in this world saving journey. And so while it came out awkward, eventually it came out not awkward. But taking that awkward laugh and putting it in just about everything was amazing.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, just it sounds out of context. It just sounds like the most dismissive fucking thing. Like it just throughout the game, it was great. Every single cutscene, he's in a temple and they're like showing him how their religion works, and he's like just every time they pause, he's like like it's just like he just fucking does not give a fuck about anything. Oh, it was great.
Yep. And also the tempo music got replaced by Haas as well.
That was the other part that we've kind of underplayed until now. The music was all just like tone shifted Haas. Oh, it was glorious. There were some songs where the instrument was such a low tone that it sounded like moose because it was so like downshifted, and then some where it sounded like birds. It was like but generally it was just like ha 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 ha. Like, oh god, I can't remember the tune of the battle theme, but god, it was really good with the Haas.
Yep, it was something. Yeah, the Hymn of the Faith also, for those of you who have played the game, completely replaced by Haas.
Oh, and to Xanarkand as well.
Yeah, and to Xanarkand. In fact... Yep, exactly. In fact, if you wanted to listen to this masterpiece of a soundtrack, you can also find that on YouTube. The person who actually created this track uploaded the entire thing.
Yeah, fucking glorious stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, look into Titus the Tink Engine laps his way through Final Fantasy X. You can't actually probably Google that, but Monotone Tim, twitch.tv/Monotone Tim, has all the VODs. Man, what a journey that was. I laughed my ass off. I laughed so fucking hard. Yeah, Monotone Tim in general has some really fucking good shit on Twitch.
Absolutely.
Yep. One of my all-time favorite streamers. He always finds something really interesting to do.
He's one of the only streamers who consistently does things that I consider newsworthy. You know, like I'll enjoy a stream, but it's not something I'll bring up on a podcast. But something like this is like, you know, it's so out there that there's a lot of discussion value to it.
Remember that time he set up so whenever someone would say something in the chat, a little comic strip would come up on the stream?
Yeah! I remember that was so fucking good. Oh, man. Yeah, he's great.
Yep. Oh, God, Final Fantasy X. Oh, man. That was, how many years ago was that now? Like 16, I want to say? I think so. Have either of you played it?
I have not.
Yeah, when I was 13, which was 14 years ago, it had just come out, I think, and my friend owned it on PS2, and I played like maybe a quarter of the way, maybe a fifth of the way into it, and then he sold his PS2. So that was my experience with Final Fantasy X. But then he bought an Xbox and Morrowind, and then like that was even more crazy addictive. Like I had never even seen a game like that. I got so fucking into Morrowind.
Hello.
Oh
yeah, yeah.
That was the end of my sentence. Sorry.
It sounded like it just dropped off for a moment there. But...
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was my story.
Yep. So if you want to see the Titus' story reinterpreted, go over to Monotone Tim's channel.
Yeah, it was quite a thing.
Yep.
Let's see here. Next up, we've got Valve is changing the way Steam reviews work so that if you got a key for free, your review does not affect like the user average at the top. Which is interesting. Apparently, they did an analysis of Steam games, and it showed that at least 160 titles have substantially higher percentage of positive reviews for free keys, or things activated with a key compared to games that were purchased on Steam. And the response to that was just fucking disregard them all.
Yeah, that's a little bit interesting, because like I feel like I've given plenty of negative reviews to games that have given me like a product for free. It's just like I can see how they could see it as somewhat biased. For example, with Mike's game, I knew Mike personally, so obviously I might be more biased to give it a positive review on Steam.
Well, even more than that, I think what they're concerned about is developers can generate their own keys.
Right.
Like, a developer does not have to pay money to make a Steam key. So, hypothetically, a developer could just make 100 Steam accounts, give them all keys to the game, and rate the game up with all of those Steam accounts.
Oh, I didn't even take that into consideration, actually.
I think that's what they're concerned about people doing.
Mm.
And also, of course, the classic, yo, give me a copy of your game and I'll give you a positive review on Steam, which is not really in the... there's not a lot of journalistic integrity there, let's say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, I can't say I didn't have a really strong opinion about it because, well, I mean, just for selfish reasons, really. I just don't do Steam reviews in general, so it would not have affected me. But yeah, I can see where the abuses could lie for that and that's why Valve wanted to do something about it.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation because also, like, one thing that one developer pointed out is that, you know, if you're a Kickstarter dev, you give keys to people through Kickstarter.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Who's most likely to vote your game up? Probably the people who backed it on Kickstarter. Now, none of those people's reviews count.
Right.
Even though they're all valid purchases, they're, you know, it's a tough situation. It's really like, it's the kind of thing where Steam doesn't have the tracking necessary on Steam keys to figure out where they came from. And their response to that is, well, if you didn't give us money, your review doesn't count. And that seems like a very imperfect solution.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a better solution out there, but I guess this is a good temporary solution for now.
I guess. Yeah. And of course there's the question of, does this even need to happen? You know, is it really that important that it's possible for developers to falsify Steam reviews? I mean, maybe, I guess. But yeah, it's a really complex issue.
Yeah, personally, I've never really based many of my purchases on like Steam reviews. I usually base it off the reviews of my friends. Like, you know, I'll ask a friend, hey, is this game any good? And they'll let me know, and I'll base it off of that. But I won't, like, you know, scour the Steam reviews like, all right, give me every little detail of why you dislike or like this game.
I'll scroll to the most helpful reviews and be like, okay, like, especially if a game has a negative overall review, I'll be like, okay, what specific things do people not like about this?
Yeah, I can understand that.
To me, like, the average means almost nothing. I'm concerned with what things do people like and dislike about this game. The average is pretty irrelevant to me.
Steam reviews, actually, I would say, I never really thought about it, but they actually do have somewhat of an influence on whether I choose to buy a game or not. And the reason I say this is because, well, let's say, for example, there's so many games on Steam, I happen to be browsing Steam, and I see something on discount that I've never seen before. Well, instead of clicking out to a browser window, I'm just more likely to click on the Steam reviews. And decide from there.
Yeah. I'm always, like, I tend to look for the negative reviews. Like, that's what I want to see a negative review and see what concerns this guy has.
Right.
Because that's where I'm most likely to see, do I empathize with the people who are making negative reviews or do I not? You know, somebody who doesn't like a really popular game like Skyrim will be like, yeah, this is boring, the combat's not very good. And the people who like it will be like, yeah, but the story's great. And I'll be like, okay, so I probably won't like it because I don't really like, you know, I play games for, like, systems more than story. So that kind of information is more useful to me than, 60% positive. That doesn't mean anything to me. I like a lot of games that most people don't like.
Right.
And I dislike a lot of games that everybody likes.
Right. I'm pretty much the same way. Well, because I would like usually very unconventional games. Let's put it that way.
Totally.
I wonder actually if Valve could have, you know, Valve has a filter now, or at least another part of the review that says most recent review score, right? Could they do some kind of separation for this?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I don't think they're making it so you can't review it. Are they? I think they're not. They're just not weighting the average with it. But I might be wrong.
There should be a weighted average along with it. I feel like though, like that might help out a little bit.
I don't know what you mean.
Like, similar to what Zen just said. You know how they have the most recent reviews as opposed to like the overall reviews?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Just another one of those, like another set score in there.
Yeah.
Essentially, where it's like either with or without the
Yeah, only purchase, only put. I don't know what the term would be.
Yeah,
like
I don't know how to
purchasing
word
customers
it.
or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough situation. I'm sure they've done a lot of thinking about it. We'll see how this situation develops. I'll be interested to see if they make any changes or what, because it's definitely not perfect now.
Oh, actually, I just looked at a game's Steam reviews, and you can actually click on different things to give specific reviews. Like, you can click to see specifically only ones that got keys. Like, key activations, there's 57 for this game.
It's already there.
Yeah,
Cool.
so you can split it up yourself.
Fascinating.
That's really interesting.
Okay.
That is
Well.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's probably a smart way to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I wonder how many people do just look at, okay, this one's 86% positive, I'll buy it. This one's 72, I don't know. You know, I wonder, I'm not sure what people's buying habits are like.
Well, for me, if let's say for example, you know how every Monday Steam has its weekly all kinds of game sales, right, on Monday.
Yeah, the midweek
So if
madness or whatever.
Well, not midweek madness, but on Monday
the
when
other
they have like a list of like 25 games they have for sale, mostly games that are not particularly fantastic or famous or
Right.
anything like that. And then I look through that list of games, and then there's a little thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So that would actually influence me on whether I want to click on it or not, to even read the reviews. So in that sense, I feel like that does matter a little bit.
Interesting. Yeah, that's not how I look at reviews, but surely it is how many people do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing, of course, is that by default, the ones that have a positive or a thumbs up, they appear first on the list. So if somebody has a list of like, I don't know, 30 to 50 games, and they just start scrolling through, they might get tired after a while and just go do something else, which has happened to me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I hardly ever have the patience to visit Steam directly anymore. It's so hard to find things there anymore. Ever since Greenlight, man.
Well, for me, what it was that for the weekly sales, I would look through it just to find some stupid dating game that I thought I would do on my channel, and because those actually show up on sale on Monday quite often.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah. So, but nowadays I just hardly, especially this week, I just have hardly any time to record anything. So there's that, I guess. So let's see. What else did you want to talk about today in terms of video games?
Let's see. Twitch beat a chess grandmaster.
Ah, yes. I wish I had seen that. I missed it because I totally forgot. How did that play out?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's apparently a game called Pure Chess, which is pretty much like, it seems like just a good online chess client, which doesn't really exist yet. They're like, fuck it, we'll just make a really good chess client. And to market it, they put it on Twitch and had Twitch chat, it looks like, vote on moves versus one chess grandmaster. And the grandmaster actually won in the beginning, and then he even won the second game against 500 people blindfolded, which meant he just had to keep all the piece positions in his head. But then after that, chat reached 600 people, and he started getting wrecked. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because obviously, like, the chat was like discussing moves and like making cases for their move and everything. So it's 600 people brainstorming against one man. And also, of course, there's the possibility of, like, maybe they were using like chess bots, I don't know, like chess AI to tell them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, you know what, that I did not even think of that. Somebody must have been doing something like that.
Definitely. But then you still got to convince the whole chat that that's the best move. But yeah, definitely it was a very interesting experiment having like 600 random fucking Twitch viewers from the internet fight against one guy who knows his shit, and they ended up doing pretty well against him after a little while, after more people filtered in.
I really like experiments like this. It's really cool.
Yeah, Twitch Plays is a really fascinating phenomenon.
Yeah, I imagine eventually they'll do Go. Go will be really interesting, I think.
Oh, that would be weird as hell. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many people will actually show up because Go is a less played game, at least here in the West. But
Yeah.
I think it will be really interesting.
Twitch Plays versus DeepMind.
That's going to be quick.
A network of like 2,000 Twitch viewers versus the greatest machine that's ever existed.
Yeah, they could play that up, actually. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, Twitch did not promote this, right? This chess versus...
I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never heard about it, except like I was just scrolling through Rock Paper Shotgun. I was like, whoa, what? What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, and I don't understand why they didn't do this, but I think if they did Twitch, if they actually mark or put it on the front page or something, I think it would be even more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Twitch plays Go versus a Go Grandmaster or even a even AlphaGo. I think Twitch will get wrecked. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But, yeah.
Almost no question. Yeah, unless they also have a copy of DeepMind that they can use to feed them moves.
Oh, unless a Google researcher is one of the people in Twitch chat and has the charisma to lead like 100,000, not even that, but 1,000 like crazy Twitch chatters.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be hilarious.
It would be. See, I know we've talked about this a few times on the podcast before, but I really do think that Twitch is going to like just encompass everything eventually. Amazon.com, which for those of you who don't know is Twitch parents company, is pursuing sports streaming rights at the moment. Right?
Pursuing what, sorry?
Sports streaming rights.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually hear about
Twitch. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
that. I was just saying I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, let me bring up a news story real quick, just so that I can get the gist of it to you. So, see and grab the news. But yeah, Amazon is looking into sports streaming rights. It says on Bloomberg on September the 9th, 2016. This is an autoplay video. Screw you, Bloomberg. But yeah, that's what they're doing. They're looking for sports streaming rights from tennis to rugby.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really do think that like Twitch or Twitch-like services are going to replace like classic television, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Or either that or YouTube likes, you know, or Netflix likes, if you will. Like, you know, the idea of having a channel where you curate 24/7 video to play is like very outdated because people don't want to wait. They don't want to be like, oh, I really want to watch TV at 8. They want to be like, I have time to watch TV at 10. I'm going to watch the thing I want to watch right now. Or
Yep.
the only reason to not do that is if it's a live event, in which case Twitch is a much better format for that.
Yep. Well,
especially with the chat and everything.
Well, I'll tell you. Recently, whenever Rob's been streaming, say Alpaca Patrol has been streaming football games, I've been kind of hanging out in his channel too because I found it a lot easier because ever since I migrated here to the United States, I've told myself, you know what, Zen, you got to learn how to appreciate and watch American football, and it's never really happened, but.
Yeah.
With Rob, I just, you know, it's like having a lot of friends. It's like having Rob there and then 300 other people who also kind of watch sports explain to me what the football concepts are, why I should pay attention to this part or that part. And it's just been really cool. And I imagine whenever sports matches really do get live streamed with with some kind of Twitch-like chat, that would be in a really good collaborative experience for sports fans who are experienced and also newbies like me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really cool. Yeah, I've never been into really any sports, but especially not football. In fact, every time I've tried to watch football, I've been actively Like I really don't like it. I find it incredibly boring.
I actually used to play football.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No way.
I was
don't believe you.
I was a linebacker, which is basically just a defensive guy. So I was actually tackling people, believe it or not. There's one time I was actually in the middle of a match, and they had me so that I was gonna rush the quarterback, which is the guy who throws the ball, obviously.
Yeah.
So I rushed after him, and I was trying to catch him, and he was just out of my grasp. But eventually, he just kind of tripped and fell over, and then my coach gave me the biggest praise. He was like, "Yeah, good job out there. You really showed him what for."
Fucking got him. Oh, that's really good.
This is a good time.
Oh man. Now you said you were a linebacker and you said quarterback obviously, but I would not have known any of these things until I watched the video last week about what those terms actually meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only know what it means through his explanation, but I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Micmac from the chat says, "Dunce, what the fuck happened?" I assume in response to the idea that you want to be a football player.
No, I was just as skinny back then. I was just as thin and like lanky. I just like the main reason they had me doing this was because of how fast I was. They had me on sort of an attacking defensive position where I would like rush in and I would just chase them down into other people.
Right, you were playing Winston.
Yeah, I was Winston.
That's an Overwatch term for those who don't know.
By the way, just to let you know, when you said you were skinny back then, I heard skinny back and I was thinking, is that a position I've never heard of?
Yeah, the old skinny back.
The
It's
whole
not very
skinny
often
back.
run. Yeah. It's a certain type of linebacker strategy where you just fucking run after people like a crazy person.
Yep. Good old skinny backs.
The old skinny back.
All right. Well,
All right.
I think at this point we probably should move on to questions. We did not get any questions from Twitch chat, unfortunately.
Fucking
So-
Twitch chat.
Classic.
So I'm just going
Assholes.
to. You guys are no, you guys are actually our favorite, but not really. Yeah, I'm trying to be very diplomatic here, but obviously failing quite hard. I think
Flip flopping, man.
I know
You're
I'm
waffling.
flip flopping. Yeah, like a presidential candidate.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to. I think I'm just going to ask John Wolf's follow question that we couldn't get to last week, and it's kind of a broad question actually. Do you think there are any social aspects to games nowadays, not including PJ Sort? And well, much more than ever, I would say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I don't know what you mean exactly, John, by that, because obviously the MMOs, the online multiplayer makes everything so much easier now, integrated into Steam, so on and so forth. Are there any interesting social aspects you think that have come up lately, Green and Dunce, in games that you think are worth mentioning?
Well, there's this little website called Twitch.tv that's very fascinating for social gaming, I think, in the last
That's
few
true.
years. Because video games have always been kind of a solitary thing or something you play with a few people. Like, you know, the most people you might play with in an MMO is like, 15 maybe at one time. And that's if you have like a pretty big guild all like doing something together. And like maybe the most ever is like 50, but that's crazy, But Twitch has turned video games into kind of a spectator thing where, you don't have to play a video game to be involved in the social aspect, because the social aspect is you watch a streamer playing and you hang out in the chat and you talk to everybody else about it and have kind of a community experience with that. Like that's especially true with, I think, games like Dota 2 and stuff, where people will be discussing the game in the chat and being like, oh, I think you should have made this decision. And like, getting into arguments with the chat, basically backseating the streamer. But, stuff like that where, kind of collaborative game playing ideas and stuff. I think Twitch has been huge for that. It's been a completely new way to experience video games that didn't really exist before.
One thing I've kind of noticed about not necessarily in regards to Twitch, but the social aspect of video games is Overwatch has done something that no other game has kind of forced me to do. I've never really felt like in a multiplayer game of that scale, like I needed a full team of people that I knew. Like with Smite, I'm usually okay with like a few randoms. But with Overwatch, I almost always want to have like that 6 stack. I want to be playing with all 6 or all other 5 people.
Interesting. For me, like Dota was always like that too.
Well, I never played Dota, so.
Well, like Dota is basically Smite. Dota
Yeah.
is my Smite, to a large degree. Like it's one of those games where there's just so much collaboration to be done with your team that if you're playing with a bunch of random people, you're just not gonna have fun.
I feel like with Smite, it's a little bit easier to straight up just carry your team, though. Like,
Maybe.
it's just an
that's
easier
totally
game.
possible. Yeah, that's totally possible. Yeah, in Dota, it's like if your team isn't fucking cooperative, if your team's just walking in and dying all the time, you've already lost.
Right.
There's nothing any hero can do about that, because they're just gonna get so much money out of it that they'll have 2 more items than you do, and then they'll 1v1 you.
Right.
Yep. The other thing I wanted to talk about in this, or that I just thought of really, is that I kind of feel like Twitch has enabled people to learn from each other a little bit more in terms of interacting between the broadcaster and the chat. And the reason I was thinking about this is because I was watching Iron Chef Bobby Flail, and he was playing a game called Sleeping Dogs, right, which is a game, of course, taking place in Hong Kong. Okay. And there was some conversation about, because the main character is an American Chinese person who's gone back to Hong Kong, but there are certain cultural things like, what is a fish ball, right? Is it because the some of the vendors in Sleeping Dogs, they sell fish balls. Are those fish testicles, or are those balls made of fish flesh? And the answer is obviously the latter. But it's really interesting to me how people can learn a lot of from each other, and just the aspects of the games that maybe they never would have known before. But it's almost like crowdsourced learning in real time.
Totally. Not only that, but also people learn from streamers a lot. Like, professional Dota players or professional Overwatch players or top speedrunners will do streams where people who aspire to be, something like that, or at least better at whatever the streamer is doing, will watch and just learn from it in a way that was not possible 20 years ago. Like all you could do is watch the same fucking video over and over again. You couldn't watch the speedrunner practice things. You couldn't learn like kind of the granularity of like how to become somebody like that with the way you can now, because top level speedrunners and professional esports players will stream all day, fucking like they'll just stream their whole fucking practice like 9 hours a day, and people can watch that. Where that used to happen in a bubble, like used to be like pro StarCraft players, 10 years ago would just, you would only get to see them in tournaments. You couldn't see like how they prepared for a tournament. So that's a really fascinating social aspect too.
I've actually seen quite a few like video editing streams as well, where people will like just straight up stream themselves like in Sony Vegas editing a video and let chat make decisions like, oh, should we use this song for this specific part in the video if they're editing music or something like that. And I mean, I enjoy watching that because I enjoy learning like new editing techniques and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, actually. I've never seen anybody doing that, but I would totally watch it.
Yeah.
I would watch that too. Green, do you remember back when we first started making Isaac videos, what kind of crazy setup I had for editing them?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
so just
played it on a TV.
Yeah, I played the binding, so I was too cheap to buy a monitor, so all my gameplay was on the TV to start off with.
It was the wrong resolution and fucked up everything constantly.
It was the wrong resolution, yeah.
It was so bad.
And I only realized this months later that it was a wrong resolution, and because of that, there were many games that I didn't play. And for some reason, my capture software recorded everything in 2 gigabyte chunks. So I had to stitch them together piece by piece in a free video editing software. And then you convinced me to get on Vegas, and finally I did. And I was thinking all of this would have been much easier if I had Twitch channels to watch in which I just learned along with them.
Oh, totally. Dude, okay, so when I first got the idea for Binding of Isaac head-to-head, there was nothing like this on the internet. Like, there was I couldn't find any record of anybody ever doing, like, a split-screen race of a game. So I had to figure out myself how to make that work, how to make a video of two different videos playing side by side. It took me like 23 hours to fucking like get a working prototype going. Just like constantly, most of that was I tried to do it in Camtasia Studio, which I still think is probably impossible. But finally, like, you know, I pirated Sony Vegas and tried that, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit easier. But it was a difficult challenge to make that work. So it would have been really cool to see a professional do it instead of having to find, you know, blog entries over and over again for every little problem I had.
Yep. Twitch. You know what? I really think that Twitch will make the world a better place, as grandiose as that sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've already beaten Pokemon as a collaborative, 50,000 person effort. What else could humanity do?
I don't know. Maybe Twitch will one day steer a rocket to the moon. No, that would never happen.
That would be unfortunate.
That would be unfortunate.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
Yo, Twitch plays Kerbal Space Program. Make it happen.
I was just thinking that. Man, that would be great.
It would
Holy
be.
shit. I would watch that.
That's the test launch before the real space launch.
Oh man.
Just have Twitch play Kerbal Space Program for the next, 10,000 years, and eventually they'll develop the best rocket in the world.
Exactly.
Something that, people can never do on their own. Have collaboration.
Yeah, have NASA crowdsource a rocket program to Saturn. Why am I thinking of Saturn?
/NASA.
Oh shit! You know what? If NASA had done this, if it was like 6 years from now or something, in which NASA was more aware from Twitch, they could have live streamed their approach to Pluto or something.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, as slow as it would have been, or as janky as it would have been because of technology and distances, I think Twitch chat would have a good time.
Science nerds would love that. Especially me. I'd love that shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, I would love that shit.
Totally.
Do you remember, by the way, BioWare live streaming the goose that built a nest on his headquarters?
That was very cool.
It was magical.
Yeah.
I remember I got there, I never watched it except for right at the end when the geese were leaving the nest. And I got to be there for the dramatic moment where we thought the goose mother had just left a gosling behind because it couldn't climb over the little wall. It was just stuck there. It kept on trying to get up and falling back over and over again. And everybody was like, no, go Gosling, go. And then finally the mom came back and just watched it for a while and then left again and then came back one more time. And then it finally made it and they took off.
That was great.
It was glorious.
Geese are such assholes, but that was great.
They really are. Yeah, if you tried to go up to that nest and look at them in person, you would get bit.
Yep.
They would bite you.
Which they should, but still, they are assholes. Alright, well, I think it's time to talk about our game of the week, which it's Freedom Planet. It's an action platformer, very reminiscent of Sonic. And I was wondering, I'll ask you, Dunce, first. Have you actually played this game?
I have not played it. I've seen it played before by a friend of mine, a while ago, probably about a year ago.
Ah, I see. Okay, well, I think it's still on sale in the bundle on Bundle Stars. Well, I don't know if it will be on by the time this airs, but for you, Dunce, if you wanted to check it out, you could probably check it out there.
Yeah, I might check it out.
Green, what did you think of it?
I really like it. I feel like it does a great job of keeping the the feel of Sonic the Hedgehog, but also being way less frustrating than the initial Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 were way back in the day. It's very streamlined. It feels great to play. It's actually got some really good boss battles too. I was having a blast with it. I played probably about an hour of it this week, and I'll play a little bit more to get footage for the podcast. But yeah, I've been having a really good time with it.
Oh, okay. All right, that's
what about
good.
You? What did you think?
I didn't play that long of it because I've been just super busy this week. But my first impression was that the graphics were really pretty.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Yep, it's just incredibly well done, and the stages were really large. I felt like there was a lot of exploration to do there, which I couldn't even really get to because of how quickly I was trying to get through the levels. But I did enjoy the exploration part of it.
Yeah, totally. I really liked the fact that there felt like there were secrets everywhere, so I could, if I chose to, I could be like, oh yeah, I really want to get to that like thingy over there, or I could be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna run through this level as fast as I can. And I felt like there was a lot of freedom in how you play. You didn't feel like bad for skipping secrets, but also it was fun to suss them out.
Right. So Freedom Planet, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It's such a good. I used to be a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan when I was a kid, and I've tried to go back and play those games, and I hate them now. they're really, really, really frustrating. They're like so fucking hard, and this game is much better about like feeling a little bit less like you need to know every level, because that was the thing with Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, you memorized the stages so you knew what was coming because you move so fast that you'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm going fast, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and then you just run flat into a monster, and it, like, there's nothing you could have done unless you already knew it was coming. So it feels great to speedrun a level you already know, which of course was the case when I was 5 and I played the levels over and over and over and over again until I knew them. But it's not that fun when you don't know what you're doing. And this game does a much better job of still having that sense of momentum, and like you can just run and have fun, but also you don't have to know exactly where you're going to have fun, which is great.
Yeah. I remember Sonic being somewhat unforgiving too, especially in the that, what do you call it, the underwater stage? I don't remember what it's called anymore. Yeah, in which you have to swim from bubble to bubble, right?
Yeah.
In order not to drown. And Freedom Planet actually calls back to this a little bit in its own underwater sequences, but a lot more forgiving, of course.
Yeah, and a lot less stressful. Like, holy shit, in Sonic, when you're about to drown, the music starts going like da 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 da, and there's a timer counting down, and like it just makes you panic. And this game's a little more nice about it. Yeah. Yeah, also, this game had excellent boss battles where I feel like a lot of Sonic had okay boss battles, but this one, like, has actually really, like, creative and good boss battles that I enjoyed a lot.
Can you describe maybe the first one?
I don't remember what the first one was. I played through several.
Or something that just... Yeah,
the one that sticks in my mind was a cool fight against a praying mantis robot, where you had to like break off its arms and then attack its head, and it was like, you would run back and forth and have to like run away from its arms, and then you would have to like suss out the weak points where it wasn't attacking you to strike back at it, and it felt really satisfying to like start working out the patterns and where you could attack and where you had to run. Right. I don't know. It was just a good, well-designed boss battle.
I'll tell you something, Green. When you said that, my thought was, the last thing I want our robot scientists to actually create is a praying mantis robot. My God.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Can you imagine, like, one of these days, like 15 years in the future, wars are fought with praying mantis robots? Or the police have praying mantis robots. My God.
Yeah, the time of the soldier is over. The time of the mantis bot has come.
We're all mantises now.
It would be pretty scary.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, just this praying mantis robot. You don't even have to be, or you wouldn't even be scared of like someone shooting you. The praying mantis robot will come and chop your head off.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Freedom Planet, I feel like it's a really underrated game. It's something that not many people know about, but it's actually, it's just a really, really good example of a bygone genre of video game.
Yep.
If you liked the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, you'll really, really enjoy it.
Yep. You can check it out on Steam, or if you have a PS4, I believe it is also available on PS4.
Cool. Yeah, and it might still be in a bundle, but probably not anymore. Sorry, everybody.
If it is, check it out on Bundle Stars. That's where I saw the bundle. But it gets bundled a fair amount, so...
Yeah, it's yeah, keep up to date. I'm sure they have like a Twitter account where they call out stuff like that. If you want this game, you'll be able to get it on the cheap without too much trouble, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next week's game of the week is AM2R. Is that right?
Oh yeah, AM2R. I've been sucking this game's dick for months, like at least a month. It's like the greatest 2D Metroid game in existence, and it's fan made. So we'll be checking that out. That is a free game. You'll have to unfortunately download it off of a torrent or something because Nintendo issued takedown strikes for it. But it's still out there, and it's not too hard to find if you use the Googles. So yeah, download it and play along with us, and then talk to us about it next week. Email us at game.gamemail@gmail.com with your thoughts on that or Freedom Planet or any other game you want to talk about, and we'll interface with that email next week.
Yep, you are on Green's channel. Be sure to check out his other videos while you're over there. Also, jump over to Duncebass's Twitch channel whenever he's streaming. That's DUNCEBASS. There'll be a link, and check out his stuff as well.
Hopefully he will not still be streaming from this.
Yeah, we're raising this to 420 hours now.
Oh yeah,
God.
That's true. Yeah, 420-hour stream, so that'll still be going on next week. No, probably not. But yeah, Dunce is great. Also, make sure to check out youtube.com/Zen and Cyrene for the other half of the podcast. That's where next week's is going to be, and also a bunch of other cool videos.
Okie dokie. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for joining us, Dunce.
Yeah, no problem. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks for hosting us on your Twitch channel.
Bye, everyone.
Bye everybody.